Meta has released a new global threat report on cybersecurity. The social media company says that it has taken down thousands of fake accounts linked to spies and hackers worldwide. The company also found cyber threats as a result of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. So for more on this, on the report's key findings, we're going to bring in Nathaniel Gleischer. He is the head of security policy at Meta, formerly known as Facebook, in case you didn't know. Thanks so much for joining us, Nathaniel. You know, these cyber attacks, and it's one thing to talk about dealing with election misinformation, but now we're actually talking about a war where people's lives are on the line. The report points to a cyber espionage operation by government-linked actors from Russia and Belarus. What activities did you uncover, and what sectors were involved, and also how widespread was this campaign?
Thank you, and thanks for having me. The purpose of the report is to provide a window into the threats that we're seeing around the world, which are threats that target across the internet. One of the things we've seen consistently is that threat actors target multiple platforms. They target the open internet, and they target across the entire sort of space of public debate. And so we share this information so that the public can understand the threats that are out there, and so that we can share context and information with our partners in industry, in government, and civil society, so they can take action as well. In Ukraine in particular, we saw a hacking campaign linked to a known threat actor named Ghostwriter that was targeting people in Ukraine, actually trying to compromise their email. Once they compromised their email, they would use that to try to access a wide range of different social media accounts so that they could post false narratives from their accounts. Our teams identified and removed all the efforts to do this on our platform, but we know they're targeting other platforms. And because they're targeting email, we wanted to make sure we published this information and shared it so that people knew what was happening.
So what are some of the most common tactics used by these scammers?
So in this case, we're talking about cyber espionage or hacking. And the most common tactic we're seeing is an effort to compromise people's email and use that to then get into their accounts more broadly. The simplest thing people should do to protect themselves is they should turn on two-factor authentication on all their online accounts, not just their social media accounts, not just their banking accounts, but their personal email as well. That would really have blocked many of the attacks that we saw here.
You know, we love doing stuff online because it's so convenient. Yeah. And so I think people avoid the two, what is it called? Two-factor authentication. Because, now it's more time consuming. It's not as convenient as it was before. But now we know, it's a worthwhile security measure to take.
Right.
So the report also talks about how groups of hackers out of Iran targeted different industries around the world. Can you tell us more about that?
Sure. So from Iran, what we saw was two hacking campaigns. One in particular, which was interesting. I think there are two things about it. First, they targeted people who worked for major industries, the telecom industry, energy industries around the world. And they did this in an incredibly cross-platform way. We saw them targeting multiple platforms and across the open internet. The second thing that was interesting is they heavily relied on social engineering. When we think about hacking, we usually think about, well, hacking, people breaking into accounts using sophisticated code systems. But here, what they did is they created false identities designed to look like recruiters from major companies. And they would create profiles on multiple social media platforms. They would create websites for these people. And then they would reach out to their targets, executives in the energy sector, in the telecom sector, and they would invite them into an interview. And once their target accepted, they would use that interview to gather information about them and send malware to their devices to try to control their systems. So we've taken action on everything linked to this campaign, but we've also shared with our partners in industry, in government, and in civil society because we know this was such a cross-platform effort.
And so with the efforts that Meta has implemented to try and curb and remove disinformation from its platforms, does it feel like you're chipping away at an iceberg, or
I know, because the tactics just shift and they just become better and better at it. And I feel like there's been a massive sort of public information education push from everywhere, and still people are getting caught.
I mean, you're essentially what the American people will hear over and over again is two-factor authentication.
I know, right? Too many syllables in that word.
Yeah, and you hear all of this, and so you do it, right?
Right.
And then 6 months from now, you come out and you say, you know what? You also need to do this.
Right.
And then a year from now, you say, hey, these threats are getting even more dire. Here's now what you need to do. So it does feel for a lot of people that they're either playing catch up. And as Anne-Marie points out, what ultimately happens is people say, you know what? I've done everything possibly I could do. if it happens, it happens, which of course can be, as we know, not to make light of it, can be devastating for people who have their identity stolen, for example.
Well, so two things. First, I think there's some good news. The two-factor authentication blocks the huge majority of the hacking operations that we see. And so for most people, two-factor authentication is an incredibly effective step. It's also much easier than a lot of people think. I think people tend to feel like two-factor authentication is difficult, but there's been a lot of work done in recent years to make it much easier. But the second thing is, it's not just chipping away at an iceberg. I can give you a specific example. One of the operations in Ukraine was actually linked to a threat actor that ran an operation a couple of years ago on our platform. Their last operation, they reached about 6 million people before we took it down. This operation, they reached about 500.
Oh.
So each time, we know they're going to keep trying to come back. These bad actors, they don't give up. But if you build the right systems, each time they try, you can force them to work harder and to reach fewer and fewer and fewer people. And key to that is this sort of cross-society effort. We're now seeing government, industry, and civil society working together to tackle this. We know the bad guys will keep trying, but I actually think there's some positive news if you look at how the responses are working and how hard they're having to work.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Nathaniel, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.